Now is we're going to look at what happens when you have multiple transversals. Basically, the original picture I drew looked like this. We had 4 lines, 2 transversals. These are actually 4 transversals, 2 to each. So what we're going to look at here is I've color-coded this so you can see it a little bit easier. Let's look at alternate interior angle pairs. Okay, if I'm looking at the orange lines, and I pick either green transversal, interior for the orange lines is in orange. Interior for the green lines is in green. So let's look at the green lines. Okay, so if I look at the green lines, I'm going to pick one of the orange lines as my transversal. Let's start off and we'll use K. If I wanted alternate interior angles with the 2 green lines, L and M, and K is my transversal, then it would be 12 and 5. And 11 and 6. Okay, so I've got angle 12 and angle 5 and angle 11 and angle 6. And you can use commas or ands. I use both. So let's look at the green lines now with this orange transversal. We're going to now look at it with R as the transversal. 16 and 7 and 15 and 8. Okay. Those are your alternate interiors when the 2 green lines are your coplanar lines and the oranges are your transversals. Well, now let's make the green lines the transversals. If I were to rotate my paper this way, and I'm looking at the 2 orange lines and I look at these green lines independently as a transversal, now let's look at alternate interiors. 15 and 10, 13 and 12. So I've got angle 15 and angle 10 and angle 13 and angle 12. Now, let's look at it again. 15 and 10, 13 and 12. Now let's look at the 2 orange lines and let's look at the green line M as the transversal. So now I've got 3 and 6 and 7 and 2. So I've got 3 and 6 and angle 7 and angle 2. When you look at alternate interiors, all of these special angle pairs have to be on the same transversal. Big mistake I see a lot of people is, 12 and 7 are alternate interior. They are not. 12 is on line K, 7 is on line R. They cannot be alternate interior. But a lot of people get confused because some of these angles may be interior, like 10 and 13 are interior with the orange lines, but with the green lines, they're on the exterior. So you have to look at which 2 lines you're looking at and what transversal you're looking at. So let's look at another type of angle pair. Let's look at our corresponding angles, okay? So we'll look at the corresponding angles. Okay, if I want to look at corresponding, remember that's in the same relative position. So let's look at the green lines with line K as the transversal. So 9 and 5, 11 and 1, 10 and 6, 12 and 2. You can see how those all line up under the principles of corresponding that we've talked about. So now let's look at this one. 13 and 7, 15 and 3, 14 and 8, 16 and 4. And those are all of your corresponding angle pairs, only if we're looking at the orange transversal K and the orange transversal R. Now let's flip this and let's look at the orange lines are here, and now we'll make the green lines the transversals. You've got corresponding angles here then. You've got 14 and 10, 13 and 9, 16 and 12, 15 and 11, 8 and 6, 7 and 5, 4 and 2, and 3 and 1. Those are all corresponding angles also because you're looking at different transversals. We've got different types of transversals here. So we've got angle 9 and angle 13. We've got angle 10 and angle 14. We got angle 11 and angle 15. And we got angle 12 and angle 16. Then down here, we've got angle 5 and angle 7. We've got angle 6 and angle 8. We've got angle 1 and angle 3. And we've got angle 2 and angle 4. And there are going to be more pairs of those than there are of anything else, but those are the correspondings. Okay, so now let's take a step back from the corresponding angle pairs, and let's go back to an alternate pair. So let's look at alternate exterior. Again, when you say exterior, it depends on the two lines you're looking at. If I'm looking at the two green lines and the orange line K or the orange line R is my transversal, then exterior is here and here. Anything outside the green for the green lines is exterior. So let's look at alternate exterior. 9 and 2, 10 and 1. Over here, 14 and 3, and 13 and 4. Now those are your alternate exteriors if your green lines are your lines and the orange ones are your transversals. Let's flip the paper again. Now, the green lines are your transversals, which means now anything outside the orange, because you're looking at the orange lines now with green transversals, anything outside the orange is going to be exterior. So I've got 14 and 11, 9 and 16, 8 and 1, and 4 and 5. You can see those are also alternate exterior. So let me list those here. We have, oops, got something kind of got away there. We have 9 and 16. We have 11 and 14. We have 5 and 4. And we've got 1 and 8. So those are all your alternate exterior angles. So we've got alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. Now, let's look at some of the same sides. So I'm going to move this way. Now we're going to do same side interior. So if I do same side interior, it depends on which picture I'm looking at. Let's look at the green pair first with the oranges as the transversals. So with the green pair, my same side interiors would be 11 and 5, same side, 12 and 6. And then if R were my transversal, 15, let me see, you can see R, 13 and 7. Sorry, not 13 and 7, 15 and 7, my bad. 15 and 7, just making sure you're paying attention. And 16 and 8. So those are the same side interior angles for those. If I were to look at now the orange pair and the green are the transversals, 2 and 3 would be same side interior, 6 and 7 would be same side interior because they're both on the same transversal, M, and then 12 and 15 and 10 and 13. So those are your same side interiors. Now, along with same side interior, we do have one more. You guessed it, same side exterior. So we've got same side exterior. And this is the same thing here. So we've got same side exterior. Let's look at the green lines first. Anything in the interior is in green is highlighted in the green here. So if the oranges are the transversals and the green's the interior, my same side exterior would be 9 and 1 and 10 and 2. If my transversal is R, 13 and 3 and 14 and 4. And if I look at now the orange area with the green transversals, if I look at transversal L, then I've got 11 and 16 are same side exteriors. 9 and 14 are same side exteriors. 5 and 8 are same side exteriors because they're on transversal M now. And 1 and 4. So those are your different types of angle pairs when you have multiple transversals. You just have to look at the perspective of the picture. Sometimes rotating the picture will help you. But anytime you identify an angle pair, those angle pairs in each pair must be on the same side of or along the same transversal. 12 and 7 cannot be a special pair because they are not on the same transversal. 12 is on transversal L and transversal K. 7 is on transversal R and transversal M. 6 and 15 can't be a pair. They're on different transversals. 14 and 1, those are not pairs. They're not on the same transversal.